Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, January 29th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Malone. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, clean up or pay up. That's the message from Prince George's officials. Starting today, the county will issue citations to those who have not cleared out their sidewalks. CTV's Sonia Srivastava has more.
Well, what you're looking at right now is a sidewalk, and so is this right here. And kids are going to be expected to walk over here as they come back to school on Monday, as we are just a stone's throw away from Lake Arbor Elementary School. Now, today, county officials say they will start giving out citations to those who have not shoveled their sidewalks.
It's been 5 days since snow stopped falling in our area, and county officials say residents have had plenty of time to dig out and clear those sidewalks.
After a typical snowstorm, we start giving folks notices 24 hours, and then we start citing after 48 hours if they have not cleared their sidewalks. However, with this snowstorm, just given the fact that it took so long to clear the streets, folks had a very nice grace period.
As we drove around today, we found neighborhood after neighborhood where sidewalks are barely touched. This one here just a quarter mile away from Lake Arbor Elementary. Officials say county inspectors will be particularly focused on locations that are within 1.5 miles from a school. Citations carry a fine of $100. Some residents say that's unfair, considering how monstrous the last storm was.
People have been snowed in, and when they do get out, like myself, I'm just glad to back out my driveway and go where I'm going.
So you think the citations are a bad idea?
I do.
The reason we're doing that is because we need to make sure that the sidewalks are clear so students can walk to school.
About last year when I went to school, it was kind of hard to get to my bus stop.
We found that in some areas, plows were clearing the streets by dumping the snow on the walkways. Hubbard says an inspector will make a judgment on an individual basis.
We knock on a door and say, please go out and shovel. And they say, okay, we're going out, and we see some forward motion. We will not issue a citation. But if somebody says, oh, not my responsibility, I'm not doing it, then 9 times out of 10, they'll get a citation.
We ran into Mamo Tesma, who owns a Chinese carryout in Bladensburg, and says it's time walkways get cleaned.
Especially for elderly people, for their convenience. It's really important for them to clean it, yeah.
So there are about 50 inspectors in the county, and there are about 200 schools. So it's going to be impossible for all of these inspectors to make it to every single neighborhood. So officials are really hoping that residents take it upon themselves and do the right thing. In Lake Arbor, I'm Sonia Srivastava. Back to you.
And the county says residents will be able to challenge some of those citations if they think they're unfair.
And rivers of water in Bowie. An early morning water main break in that town floods Mitchellville Road, disrupting rush hour traffic. The break sent about 3 million gallons of water gushing onto local streets. Now, Mitchellville Road between Excalibur and Mount Oak was shut down while crews worked to fix a 24-inch pipe. Officials say the snow and ice covered an underground cylinder, causing challenges for WSSC workers.
The challenge is to get the water off. We've got a few valves to close. We've closed one. The water has gone down significantly since early this morning, but we've got a lot of snow on the ground. There's ice packed on top of it, and those valves are underneath all of that. So we know where the other valve that we need to get to is, but it's buried under a bunch of snow, and we're trying to get to it right now. Get it closed, we'll get the rest of the water off. So low pressure is common in these situations. Hopefully once we get the section of pipe isolated where we're going to make the repairs, everyone will have water as normal.
And the water company says service in the area has been fully restored and the southbound lanes are now open.
A large sinkhole causes road closures in Seat Pleasant this morning. Prince George's police shot this video, which shows a stretch of collapsed concrete in the middle of the street. Repair crews blocked off Addison Road between Dry Log and Crown Streets for several hours. According to WUSA 9, erosion under a lane that was previously patched led to the sinkhole. The lanes have since reopened.
The state of Maryland is urging nearly 400 families, mostly in Prince George's County, to have their children tested for lead poisoning. The Maryland Department of the Environment and the EPA are investigating a private home inspector they say improperly certified rental properties as lead-free. They say the inspector performed the work for the American Homeowner Services of Lusby and that at least 7 properties that were certified as lead-free had lead paint or weren't properly tested. All those properties are being reviewed. Now, state officials are contacting the residents and owners. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Velo.